All right, welcome everybody to this month's webinar. We're going to be going over LinkedIn prospecting today, and we're really excited about this. Thank you all for joining. This is we decided to do this webinar because it's something that we've found very useful here internally for prospecting, and so we thought that many of you would find those same tools useful. So today, first of all, to view this in full screen, hover your mouse over the bottom right corner and look for the full screen option. Some people don't realize that you can go full screen and they're looking at this little tiny screen. And so make sure you go full screen there so you can see everything and read everything really well. Um, Today you're going to have two presenters, myself, Lasse Young. Many of you are familiar with me. I'm the president of IXN here. And we're also going to have Michael Dawson, who's one of our business development reps. Michael is going to be presenting and talking a little bit about. I'll be talking a little bit about the uh, concepts, things you can do, going over some of those things. Michael is actually going to share some success stories, tell you guys show you guys how that worked out, and try to apply it to your business as well, and hopefully you guys gain some great insights from that. Um, so here's the agenda for today. It should fit within about 45 minutes total at the most. And so, first of all, just for those of you who are new to IXN, we're just going to give you a brief overview. And once we've done that, we're going to go into LinkedIn. We're going to go give a LinkedIn overview. We're just going to do some basics, uh, and then we'll get into 10 tips and tricks, which are more detailed. But this is just really kind of the tip of what you can be doing with LinkedIn. There are so many different cool things that LinkedIn provides for business to business to consumer type sales prospecting, and there's a lot of opportunity. I highly recommend everyone goes on Google, do some searches and watch some YouTube videos. There's some really good information out there on how to use LinkedIn to do sales prospecting. It's really an amazing tool that's really emerged in the last couple of years. Um, so first of all, um, before we really dig in, so IXN, we're a technology company. We're based out of Utah. We're in Provo, Utah, right across the street from Brigham Young University, just about 45 minutes south of Salt Lake. We're a technology company focused on the insurance and financial services industry. We really help insurance agents, financial planners, the financial services industry on the insurance side. We help you market yourself with different tools. We work with brokerages, BGAs, IMOs. We also work with individual independent agents to help you build websites. We have quoting software. We do mobile apps. We do a whole bunch of things. One product that's very applicable to today um, is uh, is our or to our LinkedIn prospecting today is our social link quoter, for example. It's a quote engine that you can share on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on basically any social media. You can plug it into your email signature, and um, hopefully you all can hear me. Someone chatted in that they lost audio, so hopefully they get that resolved. But um, so we really have some great tools that you can that you all can take advantage of, and we'll send you a follow up after this call. We're recording it or recording the webinar, so we'll send the webinar out to everybody. And if you'd like to learn more about those things, we'd love to do a demo with you, show you how these products can help you with your LinkedIn prospecting. Today we're not going to tout our products. We're not going to. This isn't the type of webinar where we're going to throw in our products all the time. We're really just trying to give you guys some good information and trying to provide some good stuff for you guys. So that's my brief overview. We'd love to talk to any of you, obviously, and tell you a little bit about our products, whether you're an agent, BGA, IMO, carrier, whatever your business is. So we're going to start with just some basic things. For those of you who are already pretty advanced LinkedIn users, this first section is probably going to be pretty basic for you, but we will get into some more detailed stuff. Thank you for those of you. It looks like some of you have your audio is working fine. So, so we're going to start with just complete your profile section, snag your name, add a nice photo, and make connections. So we're going to talk about some of those things. So first of all, let's start with complete your profile. I can't tell you how many LinkedIn profiles I've seen that are not complete. That someone started the process, they don't have their job history. There's a lot of good stuff you can put on here, and really it's important that your profile is complete. Here's my profile, and so lately I've seen a little bit of an improvement in my profile showing up in places. You can see down here I've got my work experience. I've got a couple things that I've done during my work time here. I have a recommendation on here, which, by the way, recommendations, we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but it's okay to ask for them, to ask people to recommend you on there. I've also got some organizations I'm part of, languages I speak, skills that I'm proficient in. I kind of overdid it a little bit. But my educational experience, there's a whole bunch here, and really this really kind of helps you get out there, get connected with people, help people find you, as well as help you find other people. So make sure that your profile is complete, that you don't leave that hanging. That's really important. It really sets you up as a professional, because when you're trying to reach people, when you're trying to reach out to people, they're going to look at your profile. And if you've got an incomplete profile, and you don't have your work history there, or you don't have like a summary or something there, there it's gonna kind of limit your ability to connect with people and talk to people there. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. Make sure you go and complete your profile. I'm not going to go into what like the home button is and the profile button is today. We just don't have time for that. I mean, I could spend probably a whole week with you guys on all the different features of LinkedIn, but I don't have time for that much. Next thing I'll say here is snag your name. This is something that a lot of people don't know about. By default, on LinkedIn, you'll have your name won't look like this. I'm lucky because I have a very unique name, so it was easy for me to snag my name. If your name is John Smith, you're probably going to have a hard time snagging your name, but you can actually edit this. So the link that you share in your email signature, on Facebook, on anywhere that you share your LinkedIn profile with, it'll put your name there if you do it right. So what you can do, the way you do this is you go in here to your profile. So here's my profile, and when you mouse over your link here, which is just below your profile image, there's a little gear, and you can click on that gear. And what happened? Oh, that took me to my public profile. I didn't click the gear. I clicked the name. Let's see here. Come on. All right. Oh, whoops. You have to click contact info first. There we go. And now I can click the gear, and it keeps taking me here. Well, you can edit that. Of course, now it's not working the way I'm supposed to. I believe you can. Oh, I can go up here to edit my profile. And I'm not sure why it's not letting me edit it. But this gear here will let you. That's where you go to update that. Maybe it's because I've already picked my name, so I won't be able to update it. But make sure you update that by default. It's got like some little numbers there behind it. For me, I've got my name, so make sure you get your name picked there. Next thing here is add a nice photo. Here's an example of a non-professional photo in a LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is a place for professionals. So it's not the same as Facebook. It's not even the same as Twitter. Twitter is used a lot for business, but it can also be, more type of fun stuff. Facebook is not a place for you to post your picture of your, spring break in Mexico, with your buddies. I'm sure I'd love to hang out with this guy on a Friday night that you see here, but do I want to do business with him? I am not so sure. So make sure you have a nice photo. You guys saw mine. Get one professionally taken if you don't have one. Go to Walmart and and get a professional photo taken. I think most people I'm talking to here has a professional photo of them somewhere, or something nice that they can post there. Make sure that you have a nice photo there. And the big one here is make connections. So if you're new to LinkedIn, what you want to do with LinkedIn, the power behind LinkedIn is connecting with people. And you as insurance agents, financial planners, you want to try to connect with as many people as possible within reason. So I'll explain that in a second. So when you first create your LinkedIn profile, start with your family and friends, the people that you know really well, and connect with those. I think most people, their circle of influence is around. There was a study done that was around 250 people, and the majority of those are family and friends, people they know from high school, or things like that. And then connect with your customers, people that you've had some sort of interaction with, whether you've helped them with their college planning, helped them buy a life insurance policy, their health insurance. Connect with those people. I'm surprised more people haven't connected with me. People I've bought things from, bought a car from, bought an insurance policy from, things like that. Connect with people. Connect with your customers. Send them invites. They'll if you've had some sort of interaction with them, they'll most likely accept it. And I'll explain why that's so important in a second here. Next is connect with your colleagues. I will give a warning on this one, with your colleagues. So if you're a business owner and you've got 20 employees, and you're connected with all those 20 employees, and you connect with like a headhunter or something like that, they can see your top employees there. So that's something that LinkedIn is a powerful tool. It can be used for good, but anything that can be used for good can usually also be used for bad. So remember, even though you're going out finding people, whether it's people to hire, most of the time we're talking about prospecting for sales, but other people are using it for the same type of stuff. So keep that in mind. And then last but not least, most importantly probably, is your prospects. And we'll talk a little bit about how to connect with prospects, how to find prospects once we get into the meat, the 10 tips here. There's great search functionality. There's a lot of features here. And with LinkedIn, the reason why connecting with a lot of people is important is because when you are searching, so let's go over here to LinkedIn, and let's see, I did an advanced search earlier here. I believe should still be saved. Yep. So I did an advanced search, and you can see that I've got first connections, and you can see how it has a little first number here next to the person. First connections are people that I'm actually connected with. But if I go to one of these people, like Gabe here, Gabe he knows a lot more about this stuff than I do. I went to college with him. But I can go and I can look at his connections, and I'll see first it'll show me the first connections, but let's see if we dig in further. You'll see that eventually, why is it only showing me? Oh, that was shared connections. Where are all his connections? See, for example, I don't think. So you'll see this one here, this West guy, he's a second connection. That's because he's connected with Gabe. So it'll show you down here how you're connected. So, or I guess I'm connected with Paul and probably a few others, and he's connected with Wes. And so we have several things in common, 24 things in common actually. One location, he's probably in the same area, and so that's why it's important. He would not be a second connection if I wasn't connected with Paul Browning here, or several other people probably. Um, because it looks like we have more connections in common. And so, if he is a potential prospect of mine, if he's a second level or even a third level, uh, that's as far as it goes in LinkedIn, is second and third. Then I can go in and see their profile. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to go in and see his profile and maybe send him a message or connect with him. And so that's why it's important to have a lot of connections. Uh, that being said, there are some people who I've been asked, should I just connect with everybody? Get as many connections, just connect with everybody I meet. And the answer to that is it's really up to you. I do know some people who do that, who had a lot of success doing that. But I personally, I don't do that. I look at every profile that tries to connect with me, and make sure that it's someone that I want to connect with as well. Um, and that's in the same field, mostly because of that reason I said earlier. Sometimes there's like a headhunter who's trying to connect with me, and I'm not looking for a job. I'm not really that interested in looking for a job, but they might try to look at my contacts and see if they can grab some of those, and steal them away from my company. Um, so there's also the idea that competitors, if a competitor connects with you, they can see your connections. So they can see who you're connected with, so they may be able to go and poach that, and vice versa. You connect with a competitor, you can go and see theirs. You can also go on like a business profile, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Anyway, connections are super important. It really is what LinkedIn is all about. That's why I kind of have this cool little diagram here. Is it's really connecting the world, and LinkedIn is amazing as far as that goes. Especially in the business world. So moving on, and by the way, we're going to do questions at the end, so you guys can chat in questions to me, and I'll try and answer them best I can. So if you got any questions, just write them down. So we're going to go over 10 LinkedIn tips and tricks. So I knew we only had so much time, so I picked the top 10 things that I thought were most important that I wanted to go over in this webinar with you guys. There are, like I said, there are hundreds, possibly thousands of things you can do with LinkedIn, different ways you can utilize LinkedIn to do your prospecting. But these are the 10 things we're going to go over. Become a thought leader. Connect your website with backlinks. Using an intelligent search. Be a looky-loo. Join applicable groups. Recommend contacts and request warm introductions. Keep up with important life events. Create a business presence. Stay active, and then avoid being spammy. So we're going to go through each one of those, and then we'll move into Michael's bit. So first of all, become a thought leader. With social media in general, people nowadays, they want to buy. They don't want to be sold a product. We kind of had somewhere in the last 20 years, there was a shift from people buying products, or from people being sold products, to buying products. And so it's really important that you set yourself up as a thought leader. And what that means is you become the people who share insightful information. And so if I go here and I go to my homepage, that's where your homepage is where you see the feed of everything that's going on. For what people are sharing. And so there's some people that I regularly see in my feed here that are sharing things. And for example, I mentioned earlier my friend Gabe. His name's Gabe Villamazar. We went to college together. Well, he specializes in teaching people about LinkedIn. And I reached out to him because I see him post all the time about that. So the thought came up, I'm growing a sales team here at IXN, and I thought So let's look up Gabe's profile here. Um, so I go to Gabe's profile, and I remember seeing that he posted this LinkedIn Sales Navigator, new and improved search functionality, how to use social media for business, business to business, social selling framework. So those are some of the things he's published. And so when I was starting to grow my sales team, and I wanted them to use LinkedIn, and I wanted them to use uh, uh, social media to do selling, I reached out to Gabe, and he gave me some great information, gave me some good insight. Um, and so it works the same thing for the insurance industry, the financial services industry. If whether you're a BGA owner, or you work for a BGA brokerage, or you're a individual independent insurance agent, and you're posting about different policies, different events that are happening in the insurance world, how it affects life, whatever. I see a lot of different things being posted, uh, and that LinkedIn really is where people expect it to be more business, whereas Facebook, people don't want to be see all the business stuff as much. It's more like, hey, here's my wedding pictures, or here's my kid's baptism, or whatever. Um, Whereas LinkedIn, it's hey, here's some useful information, and that's the key there. I would say is make it useful, make it interesting, make it things that people want to read about, and then everyone, but don't always make it a sales pitch. It's okay to do a little bit of selling in your posts and stuff, but you're not necessarily setting yourself up as a thought leader when you're doing that. You're you're more so you're more so selling, but setting yourself up as a thought leader. When that time comes that they are ready to buy, they're going to remember, like I did with Gabe, that that person was someone knowledgeable. That was someone that knew what they were talking about. So I'm going to go to them. It's really a powerful avenue, because you can be essentially selling by just posting things. At least once a week. You should be posting at least once a week something about your industry, something interesting, that your prospects can see, your friends and family can see, and you'll it doesn't happen overnight, but it will turn into more prospects for you. Very, very important, and that's why I put that first, was because you know, people don't realize how important that is to be a thought leader, because when it comes down for that person to buy, that's really who they go to. Um, Next is connect your website with backlinks. If any of you are interested in search engine optimization or SEO, this is a really cool feature that LinkedIn provides. So within your profile, you can actually do 3 backlinks, and because LinkedIn is indexed, it helps your search engine optimization in Google and Yahoo and all the search engines. LinkedIn is actually indexed really well because you've got a lot of content here. So in order to do that, you actually go into your LinkedIn profile here, and then click on contact info, and then you can edit those right here. So I've got a couple. I've got one to our website. I've got a link to our blog, and then I've also got a link to. I have a real estate photography business that I do on the side, so I've got a link to that as well. Um, and so those links really kind of help drive traffic, and that's a great way for someone visiting your site, or visiting your profile, to be able to go to your site and drive some traffic there, which is ultimately what we're trying to do, is get them interested enough to visit your website, get in touch with you, hopefully sell them. Which reminds me, we do have products for your websites as well. We do websites, we do quote engines for the website, so when they visit, we're happy to talk to you guys about that stuff. But yeah, really, really, really cool little feature, LinkedIn included there. So going back to the presentation here, next is using an intelligent search. So this could be probably talked about all day long. LinkedIn's search functionality is absolutely incredible. There are some tricks of the trade. So I don't quite remember how to pronounce it. I think it's Boolean search. So what that means is there's different types of keys that you can put in there to help find the right find the right items. And I've included some of the more important ones here. So for example, when you go in the keywords here, you can put not, which excludes specific results. So an example like this is VP of marketing, but not marketing director. So, if you want people with just the title VP marketing, but not marketing director, then you can use the word not to do that. Or for example, someone you want um, uh, really you can exclude any kind of word you want there. Next one is or, which shows you either or search results for two terms. So VP or V period P period. Some people might put that differently. And which narrows results. If you want, so for example, over here in my keywords, I had a CEO or president. I also got more detailed with it. So for example here, let's go over here. And if you click on advanced up here, that's where you find the advanced search. So let's say I want to, let's see, come on, there we go. Let's say I want to find someone who's got the title of CEO or president, because I'm looking for decision makers here. Or, let's see here, or owner, or we're going to say principal. And then we're going to put that in parentheses. Just going back here, you can see down at the bottom, there's parentheses, which group search terms. So we're going to put all those items in parentheses. And then I'm going to say, because my target market is brokerages and the insurance industry. And then I'm going to say, and, oops, I think these have to be capital. Oops, because that's what tells it that that's a parameter there. And then I put and, I'm going to put quotations because I want the full, this isn't two separate words, and life insurance. So their profile says something about life insurance. If I click search, I've got 175,000 potential people within this. So now I've got 175,000 people that I can look through that might be prospective clients. And then we can narrow it down more. We could narrow it down by location, by current company even, past companies, school that they went to, profile language, industry. So that would be an interesting one. So I could narrow it down if I say insurance. Then it's going to narrow it down for me. So we got rid of all the banking people and a couple different others. And so this is where you can really kind of, it's so powerful. This is where you find those prospects. And you can see if it says connect here, that means I can, well, first of all, I can send them a connection request. That probably means they're a second or a third level connection. With people that I know nothing about, I can send them an in-mail and I can try to talk to them a little bit, and then I can try to connect. I don't like sending blind connections. I don't like it when people do that to me, and I don't like doing it to others. I like to send a message first and say, hey, introduce myself and make sure people know who I am before I just send them a connection type of request. I feel like that's a little warmer, gets you in the door a little better. I highly recommend playing around with this advanced search tool. And and like I said, we're recording this, so we'll share it. So if you need these tips here to help you kind of do some searches, it's amazing. And I do recommend doing the paid features. You can see here these ones that have the yellow one, because this particular profile is not a paid one. You can only use certain functionality, but if you do the paid one, you can use all of it, and you can narrow it even more and really really get detailed. It's well worth it. I think it's worth every penny to do the paid version of the LinkedIn system. There's just so many more features it comes with. But honestly, you can start with the free one and get a lot of power out of just the free one. And then once you've kind of limited that a little bit, then move into the paid one. And then you can get even more detailed. So intelligent search, this is going to be your prospecting tool. You can find endless amounts of people using this tool. And for you for insurance agents who are looking for people who are local. If you're in Provo, Utah, you're probably looking for people in Utah Valley mostly, and so you can narrow it to that. And so that really helps you narrow your search, and this tool really helps you with that. Um, be a looky-loo. So what I mean by this is I don't think everybody realizes that when you look at someone's profile on LinkedIn, they get notified. When they look at your profile, you get notified. And so you could see who's looking at your profile. And so it's kind of funky because some people get like, whoa, that's kind of weird. Once you understand it, it makes a lot of sense. Now you can only see with the free version, you can only see a certain amount. You can only see like the last 3 or something like that. If you upgrade to the paid version, you can see everyone who's looked at your profile. So don't be afraid to look at people's profiles because of that. It's actually a good thing, because think about this. You're looking for prospects. You click on somebody and you look at their profile. Well, guess what they're going to do? They're going to get a notification that you looked at their profile. And what do you think they're going to do? They're probably going to go look at your profile. So you just did prospecting. You just got them to check you out. And they may go, hey, this guy's in my industry, or this guy's does something I'm looking for. Maybe I should talk to this guy. Or at least when you send him that InMail, that InMail is LinkedIn's mail service, like email service. He'll have already looked at your profile and know what you're about. He may not be interested, and if he's not, great, you can move on quickly. But it's actually a really powerful tool. So I would spend every day on LinkedIn for probably at least an hour if you're selling, looking at people's profiles. Just you don't have to do anything. You just have to look at their profiles. They get notified, and it's a great way to prospect actually. Next here is groups. So join applicable groups, guys. Groups are probably next to the search feature. Groups are a very powerful way to prospect on LinkedIn, because people join groups. So they join groups on LinkedIn as to what they're interested in. And so you can get in the door with people. You can find out what they're interested in. If you look at someone's profile, this is from my profile. These are some of the groups that I've joined. Some of them are things that are interesting to me. Most of it has to do with business stuff, but some of it's like marketing stuff. Some of it's social media marketing. AMA, that's American Marketing Association. Here's a UVU. UVU is the college I went to, so it's UVU Entrepreneurs. So by looking at people's groups and being part of groups, it allows you to prospect even further. So you only have with InMail, you can only send certain people messages, but if you guys are part of the same group, you actually have another level of being able to message people. So it kind of takes off some of that, some of the restrictions if you're in the same group. So join groups. You can join up to 50 groups, guys, at one time. Use all of them. It gives you updates. It allows you to connect with more people. When you do connect, you can see that you're part of the same group. There's an in. You can say, hey, I see that you're part of this UVU Entrepreneurs group. I actually went to UVU, and there's your foot in the door. maybe you start a conversation that way. Have you done anything with your entrepreneurial type? Do you have a business or whatever? You can actually probably see that on their LinkedIn profile, so you might be able to even take the conversation further. Um, so groups are powerful. We don't have time to get into all the groups and all the functionality, but they're very, very powerful. Um, there are kind of some rules with groups. Join 5 to 10 groups. This is from Ken Krogh. He's a really, really good. He's really good at this stuff. He's from Inside Sales. I think he's one of the founders. But he said to join 5 to 10 groups that everyone else in your industry is joining. And then second, go a layer lower within specific verticals. For example, join groups that clients are involved in. So like my, here I have the UVU stuff. If there's like a local group or something like that you can join, that has something to do with your area, that'd be powerful. For the BGAs, IMOs, like something like $1 Million Roundtable, there's a lot of agents involved. You're trying to recruit agents. That might be a foot in the door for some of them. And then third, and most importantly, is to understand the persona of the buyer. So they need to be involved in every major group in North America that these buyers are a part of at certain companies. But look at what your customers are into. If there's a certain trend within your customer base and a trend of what kind of things they like, what kind of things that they're joining, join those same types of groups, and it's a great foot in the door. I better move here. Recommend contacts and request warm introductions. So I highly recommend going out if you've worked with somebody, if you've done business with somebody, you went to college with somebody. I worked at Hewlett Packard for about 4 years, and I had a couple of recommendations, and some of them came because I recommended them. Adds a lot of meat to your profile. It also gets you to the point where you can, if you've done a recommendation for somebody, generally that's kind of a feel good thing. People are really appreciative of that kind of thing. It also gives you the opportunity to perhaps ask for referrals in the future. So I kind of bunch those together. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you recommended them. That's why you can ask for referrals. I've heard of people who will actually go to someone's profile, they'll look through their contacts and ask, say, hey, I looked through your profile. I've been trying to connect with these 5 people. Would you mind helping me, with an introduction? I've done that myself. There was some carriers that I was trying to get connected with, and I looked at some of my BGA clients who were connected with some of those carriers, and I said, hey, do you mind helping me do some introductions here? And so that's a very, very that's a way you can use LinkedIn to get some good prospects there and introductions. You can also keep up with life events. For a lot of you agents, that's really important. Work anniversaries, or someone has changed jobs. Maybe at their old job they had some sort of company health policy, but it's changed, and they want to learn more about that kind of stuff. Birthdays, you can see a lot here, and it's just going in and saying congrats. I know Facebook does some of that as well, but they don't do the business type of stuff, and I feel like that's a little bit more appreciated than just Facebook is just, it's like, hey, thanks. But in here it's your business connections, and so you can go in here and just say congrats real quick, or say happy birthday or whatever, and lets them know that you're thinking about them. I think many of you know how important that is. Next is create a business presence. So you can create a personal LinkedIn profile, but you can also create a business profile. And here's Allegis Advisor Group. They're one of our clients here in Utah, actually, and they have a really nice business profile. They post job postings on here, but you can also see what kind of things that they're posting about. And as a business, if you go to the IXN Tech business profile, you can see a lot of the things that we're talking about and that we're posting about. So make sure you get your business profile up for your company, even if you're just a one-man shop. It gives them somewhere to go to learn about your business, and it's a great way to drive more traffic, um, and uh, and you get some insights out of it. Next here is stay active. So this is a group that Michael Dawson, who you're gonna talk to a little bit, or you're gonna hear from here in a minute. Uh, he posted this 3 easy ways to boost your business with Google Apps. So here he's setting himself up as a thought leader. He's posting things that are important to his clients. And then I went and posted on it or made a little comment that says, I've been using Google Apps for years. I can't imagine doing business without it, blah, blah, blah. Stay active. Go on LinkedIn every day and, just like some things or post some, share some things. It takes you honestly, you can do it in like 2 minutes and just stay a little bit active on there, and people, so you're showing up in your connections feeds and things like that. You can post, you can share, you can like, you can endorse people, recommend people, comment, reply, endless amounts of things you can do there, but make sure you're staying active. And then last but not least, avoid being spammy. So like I was saying earlier, I can't stress it enough that today people want to buy, not be sold. And so don't be spammy. Don't post a bunch of spam all the time, and that's just buy this, buy that. Uh, you know, don't overdo it. This is a place where people appreciate professionalism, and it benefits you to stay professional and really help people out. So those are my 10 tips. I'm happy to talk to any of you about them. If you guys have, want to, feel free to reach out to me. I will share my contact info here at the end. Many of you probably have it. But now what we're going to do is we're going to give Michael some time. I'm going to pass the presenter role to him, and he's going to talk to you guys a little bit about some of his success and ways he's used it. So I'm passing that over. You guys should be able to see his screen here in just a second. All right.
Hey everybody, this is Michael Dawson. Thanks, Lasse, for the introduction. I just wanted to reiterate that what Lasse has shared thus far has been some great advice. I've learned a lot from Lasse in my time here at IXN and how to use IXN to really find clients and connect with them in more than just a sales way or a sales level. Um, so what I wanted to do today is kind of share one or two little success stories that I have experienced myself at my time here at IXN, and really how I went through the sales process using LinkedIn, was able to connect on a personal level with connections, and eventually turn that into a business relationship where I was able to sell products to these individuals. So using the LinkedIn search feature, uh, when I was first starting out here, I searched independent insurance agent. Just I knew that was a good target market of ours, and eventually I came across a connection. I saw Joseph Coble. In his description, it says he's an independent health, life, and property casualty insurance broker. And so, I said, okay, well, it looks interesting. He looks like he might be a good fit. So I came to Joseph's profile and read through, saw kind of where he lived, a little bit about what he does, and reading his summary. He talks about being really involved in the insurance industry. But as I continued looking down, it showed that he's also, really involved in media. And as I looked through his experience, I saw that Joe was also says he's a percussionist for Red Hill Ramblers, and he has this um, Comrades production. So he also records and produces music. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So I clicked on some of his links down here, and I went up to his contact info, and I took a look at his Comrade company and his own company and his Obamacare. And so as I filtered through these websites of his, his Twitter page and his other info, I saw that, well, on his website he's got a life insurance quote engine with CompuLife. It's something that obviously he's been using for a while. So I thought it'd be worth talking to him. So what I did is, I sent him a message, clicked here, and I just reached out to him and I said, Joe, I see that you're involved in the music industry and insurance. How difficult has it been to be able to balance those two things? Because I work with a lot of insurance agents who find it difficult to be able to balance some of their hobbies that take up a lot of time and all their sales time. And so, talking with him, he was willing to share his experience and said that, his hobby had actually turned into a great way to get referrals and find new clients for him. And so, as I was talking with him about that through messages, he invited me to give him a call. And so, when I called him, I, talked about what we do, and he was interested. And really, it was more about developing a personal relationship. He saw that I was genuinely interested in him and not just trying to sell him something. And so when we talked, he mentioned that there were a few things about his quote engine that he wasn't a big fan of, and so he was willing to set an appointment with me to review our quote engine, and it ended up being a better fit for him. And so while that was just a small sale to Joe, because of the personal relationship that we developed using LinkedIn, he referred me to his boss, who was actually the vice president of a large brokerage in the Philadelphia area. And through that introduction to his boss, I was able to close a big sale with that brokerage and an annual contract with them that's been really beneficial to our company. Just one other idea for you guys. What I did here, another time, I was using that search function, and it's right here, just searching for independent insurance agents. I found this guy John Elwell, and at the time, I was planning a trip to visit my brother in San Jose, California. And so I saw that John, lives in the San Francisco Bay Area. So I, connected with him and I sent him a message and said, "Hey, John, I'm going to be down in that area, in a couple months, and my brother's asked me to figure out a few places I'd like to go and eat or visit while I'm there. And I was wondering if you had any recommendations." And so as we sent messages back and forth on LinkedIn, he referred me to a few different restaurants and places to visit, and we got connected that way. And as I went through, I looked at John's website. It looked like he's putting in a lot of work on his website, but he was struggling to get people there. And so, as a kind of an insurance marketing expert here at IXN, I just mentioned that. Said, "Hey, I took a look at your website. I was wondering how things are going for you." And he told me that he hadn't been getting a lot of traffic. So I offered to send him our free ebook, saying, "Hey, I know this is a really important part of you trying to grow your business. So let me add value." And so that way I was able to connect on a personal level with John, and I suggested a few things that he could do to improve his website. He implemented those, and he sent me an email and said, "Hey, Mike, I really appreciate your advice. I've been putting these things into practice, and they've really been helping out." And when he sent me that, I reached back out and said, "Hey, John, well, I've got one more idea for you." And so on his website, since he does focus a lot on life insurance, I told him about our quote engine and how that could potentially help him, contact, or so I gathered the lead info for those people who do make it to his website, in as a result of his publishing blog posts and sharing those on social media, like I had suggested. So, he took a look at the demo with me, and he decided it was a good fit. And because we had established that relationship, John was willing to move forward um, with the quote engine. And to this day, John and I will probably send an email once a month to each other just to see how things are going, see if there's any way we can help each other out. And so the one recommendation that I would make is I know although it can be very difficult to find time to spend on LinkedIn, it should be viewed as more of a way to connect with people, not just prospects. As we reach out to people and have genuine interest in them and what they're doing and in adding value to their lives and their companies, I believe we have more power to influence and help others with the products and services that we provide. Um, so my success has been due to those efforts. Starting here at IXN, I only had about 200, 250 connections, but currently I have over 1,600. I only spend maybe 25 to 45 minutes on LinkedIn a day, connecting with people, viewing their profiles, reaching out, trying to add value. Um, Many relationships and sales have come from that, and my experience and my skills have developed as well. So I would encourage anyone and everyone to use LinkedIn as a method of reaching out, making connections, and developing personal relationships. Add value, and people will want to hear your advice, and they'll ask you about your products. So, with no further ado, I'd like to thank you guys for the opportunity to present to you, and I will go ahead and turn the presentation back over to Lassa, and I believe at this time we'll kind of close up and ask for any questions that you may have, and we'll look to answer those if you send them in for chat.
All right. Let's see here. It is Michael. Did you send it back to me?
Yep.
Hmm. Not coming in. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. So up here at the top, there's I think it's green for you guys actually. There's a little chat box, and feel free to chat in any questions that any of you have about anything we talked about today, and we'll do our best to answer them. If we don't get any questions, we'll assume that we did a killer job and we were really thorough. But we definitely are open to answering any questions you guys have if you want to chat those in. So we'll wait just a minute here and see if there's any questions. Um, while we're waiting for any of those questions to come in, really appreciate you guys taking the time. We spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. Some of you who are in this webinar may even have been we may have reached out to you through LinkedIn. That may be how you heard of us. And so LinkedIn is a very, very powerful tool and can definitely take your business to a new level. You should definitely look at it as part of your prospecting, as part of your time spent on the phones. Take some time away from your phones and your emails and spend some time on LinkedIn. It's it's a really, really powerful way to generate leads, to generate traffic to your site. If you're struggling with that, if you're struggling with just having leads to sell or prospects to bring in the door, um, it's a great little tool. So it doesn't look like any questions are coming in, so I think we're good here. Thank you everybody for joining. Really appreciate you, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the week and enjoy your weekend. Thank you everybody.